Hi, this is Jared Mello, and this is Mello Mentoring. Today, I wanted to do something a little bit different, but before I begin, and what the video is going to be about today, I need some more subscribers out there. I'm creeping up to almost 500, which is so exciting, and I've been doing this for a little while, and I'm really grateful for all the support I've gotten and the encouragement, because as anyone will tell you who's done endeavors like this, it can feel pretty thankless and hopeless in some cases, and you feel like, oh, I'm not helping anyone, why even continue? But sometimes that little extra encouragement goes such a far way, and I just wanted to try to express my gratitude for the people who have done that by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing my content. Extremely appreciated. Now, I want to talk specifically about the kinds of people I hope that you either share my content with or you can reach out to me yourself. And I want to talk about some of the issues I have experience with personally. I think it's important to talk to people that have been through what you've gone through personally because, as you know, we're only going to understand people if we've gone through similar things, right? I can understand someone in a way that someone who hasn't gone through an issue has not. Now, that's not to say that the person who has not gone through an issue does not have any valuable input. I'm not saying that either. But the person who has gone through it too absolutely understands in a way the other person just can't. That's all there is to it. So without any further ado, I should say, let's go into some of the things I have personal experience with. So, anxiety. Social anxiety to the extreme uncomfortability in my own skin, and just overall generalized anxiety. Depression. I've had bipolar depression, just regular depression, low energy, suicidal idealizations. That's also a big one I've had. And not being able to be assertive is something else I've experienced. Being a people pleaser, a nice guy, too much of a doormat. I've just dealt with all those kinds of things too. I've dealt with heroin addiction, Suboxone, and Methadone. All of those things. I've dealt with lots of weed and drinking, but gambling addiction, smoking cigarettes. I've dealt with that as well. Codependency issues, love addiction issues, losing my emotional independence when being in relationships with others, losing my center. Messing up in every way in regards to relationships. I've done all of these. I've had relationships with women who are borderline. I've had relationships with people who are narcissistic. I've had narcissistic family members abuse me, gaslight me, try to blow my head up, and just be all sorts of crazy. I've dealt with death in the family, not in my direct family, but aunts and uncles I've lost. And I get it, that's not the same as a significant other or an immediate family member. So I'm not going to claim that I've been through that. But all the rest of the things I just mentioned, I've absolutely been through. Helping people to get a supplement routine that works for you. I think that's really important. Helping people deal with someone who's been narcissistic towards them. Just any relationship issue that's out there. Pretty much. Now, I've not been physically abused by partners yet. There's always yet. And not that it's even a laughing matter, but sometimes life's too important to take too seriously, as Oscar Wilde said. But I've dealt with narcissistic people in relationships. I've been a codependent person. I've been the person that is smothering, has become needy, insecure, jealous, all the things that women just love. Psych. I've dealt with those massive addictions, gambling addiction. I've been an NA 12-step Nazi who was holier than thou, that I hated myself so much that I judged everyone to the extreme that wasn't living the way I was living. But all I was really feeling, I was feeling a self-loathing, and I was just projecting it outwards when I was the NA Nazi. I did not like who I was as an NA Nazi. I much prefer myself now. I wasn't having too much fun back then. But I've dealt with bullying in the form of PTSD that's come from that. being the outcast, the loner, having no friends. These are all the kind of things I've dealt with. And I'd love to be able to help people who are in some of these situations find their way out. Right? So if you've been through addictions, if you've been through anxiety, depression, suicidal idealizations, having poor relationships, having abusive relationships, whether it's romantic or with family or friends, I've been through all these things. Gambling addiction, been there. Thousands in debt. Had to do in-charge debt solutions for a while. Not very fun. The love addiction, addicted to people, perhaps even sex addiction too. I've had that with pornography, etc. Sexting, I've had problems with that. But these are all things that I've improved on, which is good. Now, am I going to claim to have perfected any of these? No, not quite perfected, but I'm trying to get 1% better in every day. And I really need to be grateful because I'm so night and day better than how I used to be. If you would have seen me about 20 years ago, you wouldn't even recognize who I was. I was a person that had extreme anxiety, no confidence, no assertiveness, uncomfortability in my own skin, extremely shy, unless you were a family member. There's no personality, no charisma, no charm. And I gotta remember, though, not to talk too badly about myself then. That person deserves love, too. That person deserves acceptance. Just because I couldn't give it to myself back then doesn't mean that that person didn't deserve it. I probably needed it most back then. Which is why it's pretty cool to do the visual exercise of going back to a certain point in your childhood and giving that person a hug. Like, you picture yourself running to your 5-year-old self and just giving that kid a hug. Like, yeah, you deserve it, man. Like, you're a pretty cool dude. Or say it's your 10-year-old self. Your 15-year-old self. Like, yeah, you all deserve it. And I just came back from doing some Lyft here tonight. And there's a woman I was speaking with that she was having some issues. And she gave me some encouragement, though. That, hey, I'm doing some good stuff. And that I'm trying to help people. And it gave me some gratitude. And I'm so grateful that she did that. Because it really does motivate me and help keep me going. So, thanks again to everyone else out there. This was just a list of some of the issues I've been through, and perhaps you can relate and identify. And if you have, I'd love to be able to work with you and help you. Or if you know someone who has been through what I've just mentioned, feel free to share this video with them, and maybe I'll be able to help them. Or at the very least, tell them to email me. I can do some email coaching with them. People do that about supplement routines sometimes with me, but I'm just trying my best to give my gifts away and to try to help people, especially people that have gone through the same things I have. So with that, thank you for letting me share about all this, and I hope to hear from some of you soon. Have a good one.